Hi, I'm Bob Pryor, and this is part 2 of sine and cosine in the unit circle. I hope you've seen part 1 already. If you haven't, you should probably do that first. In part 1, we spoke about sine and cosine of 45 degrees, 30 degrees, and 60 degree related angles. Today we'll start with the axial points, and we'll talk about finding theta in the unit circle. Let's join this discussion, already in progress. So we're talking, about 0 degrees and 90 degrees and 180, etc. In fact, you can see in this set we've got some that are even negative angle measures. And on the axes, we actually, have the ones and the zeros, or negative ones and zeros. At 180 degrees, we have here 0, negative. Wait a minute. That is not right. I make this mistake a lot, actually, where I get them mixed up. That's supposed to be -1, 0, not 0, -1. It's so easy to make that mistake. I make it with the 0 ones and the 1 0. So let me just fix that right here. -1 0 at 180 degrees. And at 270, that's where the 0, -1 comes into play. Just be cautious about that, because it's really easy to make that mistake. Okay, you notice I just put the angle measures in quickly. And we're looking at the sine of 0 degrees. Sine is y, is the y coordinate. So sine and y, they kind of rhyme a little bit. Sine of 0 degrees is 0. Cosine, of course, cosine is the x, doesn't rhyme with anything. But cosine of 180 degrees is -1. And the sine of -90 degrees, that's the y value at -90, that's -1. And the cosine of -360 degrees is the x value at 0, or at -360, same location, they're coterminal. It is +1, or just 1. This time we're going to be finding theta given certain information. Now the theta values that we're trying to find are angle measures, degree measures between 0 and 360 degrees. But notice with the less than or equal to, 0 degrees is included and 360 degrees is not included. So first of all, cosine of theta is square root of 2 over 2. There are two important clues with that number. First, the fact that cosine of theta is positive means theta must be in either quadrant 1 or quadrant 4. Second is the fact that cosine of theta is square root of 2 over 2, and that only occurs at 45 degree angles. So theta hat is 45 degrees. We can locate these in the circle, in the unit circle, in quadrant 1 and in quadrant 4. And quadrant 1 is 45 degrees, and quadrant 4 is 315 degrees. And those are our actual two values of theta that we're looking for. Those are the solutions. So we'll write them both down. So in A, we got 2 solutions. In B, we're going to get only 1 solution. And that's because even though we're told that what cosine theta is radical 3 over 2, and that occurs twice in the unit circle, we're focused only on quadrant 1. And the quadrant 1 value where that occurs is 30 degrees. So 30 degrees is where cosine of theta is positive square root of 3 over 2, and that's going to be the only solution this time. Theta equals 30 degrees. Okay, let's take a look at a couple of finding theta involving sine. In part C, the sine of theta is square root of 3 over 2. Again, 2 clues. The first is that it's positive, and that means we're talking about quadrants 1 and 2 for sine. The other is that its sine is radical 3 over 2, and that occurs at the 60 degree mark. So theta hat is 60 degrees. So we need to find the 60 degree related angles in quadrants 1 and 2. And that's all we need to know. We get 2 solutions here as well. Theta equals 60 degrees, comma, 120 degrees. Two solutions. In part D, though, notice again we have kind of a restriction on theta. This time we're told that theta can only be in quadrant 3, where sine is negative. And we see that sine of theta is a negative square root of 2 over 2. So the other clue is that theta must be at the 45 degree mark. Theta hat is 45 degrees, but not quadrant 1 or 2, 3 or 4, well, quadrant 3 only. Almost got carried away there. So we're talking about 225 degrees. And that's the value of theta, only one solution this time. Okay, let's look at the next set of examples. In this set, sine and cosine are either 0 or 1. That means that they must occur at axial points. In fact, sine of theta is equal to 0 only on the x-axis. So we're talking about 0 degrees, 180 degrees, or maybe even 360 degrees. Okay, so do we have 3 solutions here? Yeah, I'm not so sure about that 360 degrees. Remember that we have a restriction on theta, that theta is between 0 degrees and 360 degrees, but 0 is an included value and not 360. So we actually only have 2 solutions, 0 degrees and 180 degrees. Okay, sine of theta is 1. That's got to be on the positive y-axis, and that happens at 90 degrees. So theta equals 90 degrees. Okay, cosine theta equals 0. That happens on the y-axis. And there are 2 angle measures there. There's the 90 degrees and also 270 degrees. So this one has 2 solutions for theta. Theta equals 90 degrees, comma, 270 degrees. And lastly, cosine theta equals 1. That occurs on the positive x-axis. That's where we have the point 1, comma, 0, and the x value is 1 there. Now, of course, that's 0 degrees and 360 degrees, but we're using only 0 degrees as a solution. Well, I hope this has been helpful to you. Until next time, take care.